Shifting Gears with Alan Bailey.
I really enjoy the smell of burnt rubber and race fuel in the morning. Sue me.
Whether it's NASCAR, INDYCAR, NHRA drag racing, or AMA Supercross, we've got it.
I'm going to be unapologetic. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm going to tell it like it is, whether you like it or not. Get over it.
Grab a gear and let's go.
Well, is it time to go already? Really?
You're Shifting Gears on ARN. Here's Alan Bailey.
Happy Wednesday to you, Hump Day, here on ARN. It's Shifting Gears on a Wednesday, June 11th, 2014. Welcome on in. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Alan Bailey. Want to get you involved on this conversation? Use the hashtag ARNRace to get in on this one. Lots of stuff flying at me, lots of interesting stuff to start off the show with here. But instead, let me go ahead and start with this little nugget. Let's get the show kicked off the right way, like we always do, with our hot topics presented by Apollo Aesthetics. IndyCar dropping the hammer from the Firestone 600. IndyCar officials have fined KVSH racing driver Sebastian Bourdais $10,000 and placed him on probation for the remainder of the 2014 IndyCar season. A member was found to have violated Rule 9.3.1, improper conduct on the track during the incident with Justin Wilson on lap number 112 at the event at Texas Motor Speedway. IndyCar officials have also fined Sarah Fisher Hardman Racing $5,000 for a technical violation on its number 67 Verizon IndyCar, driven by Joseph Newgarden. The entry was found to be in violation of the rear wing. And IndyCar officials have also penalized Honda a total of 30 engine manufacturer championship points because of the engine change rule under mileage. Honda engines were changed out on the number 14, 25, and the 28 entries. Each occurred as a 10-point penalty insured by the manufacturer. And by member of a contest, the penalty to pursue all of these and the procedures and timelines detailed in the review can also be found in the Verizon IndyCar Series rulebook, which can be found on arnrace.com. Also, in NASCAR, is Juan Pablo Montoya thinking about returning to NASCAR full-time? We know he's racing this weekend out in Michigan in a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series car for Roger Penske, the number 12 Ford for Roger Penske to be exact. And Montoya said earlier this week, actually yesterday, that yes, the idea of returning to NASCAR has come up, particularly at the Brickyard, and it didn't take Juan Pablo Montoya very long to tell Roger Penske yes, telling NASCAR.com, quote, "We talked about it and we both thought it was a great idea. I mean, when he mentioned it to me, with the cars they have right now, it was a no-brainer," unquote. But is Juan Pablo Montoya seriously thinking about returning to NASCAR full-time with Roger Penske or another competitive car if the opportunity arises? We'll have that for you later on in the programming. And yes, we're going to be talking about drag racing as they head into the Bristol Dragway, Thunder Valley this weekend for the NHRA Mello Yello Drag Racing Series. And yes, we're going to be talking about one driver in particular, looking at Del Worsham and the Coletta Motorsports team and their 2014 series so far. Don't go anywhere for that one. And yes, this is kind of an interesting side story. Jimmie Johnson heading into Michigan this weekend, although he does have back-to-back wins in NASCAR, 2 wins in NASCAR, one must ask themselves, how is Johnson at Michigan? Well, in 24 Sprint Cup races there, it's actually his worst racetrack. In fact, it's one of just 5 Sprint Cup Series tracks overall that he has not won yet in his career, which includes Chicagoland, Homestead, Kentucky, and Watkins Glen. Michigan International Speedway is the only track that hosts 2 Sprint Cup Series race a year that Johnson does not have a win on. Can he break through this weekend? We'll break it down later on in the program. And staying in the realm of NASCAR, Marcus Ambrose is still looking to get his first oval win, but that fact is not lost on him. The two-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series winner and former track record holder at Michigan International Speedway has stats that prove he's one of the more successful drivers to race for the King Richard Petty since actually 1993, when Richard actually became the sole owner. And yes, about a dozen or so drivers have actually raced full-time for the King. That list includes son Kyle Petty, Rick Wilson, Wally Dallenbach Jr., John Andretti, Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Green, Buckshot Jones, Bobby Labonte, A.J. Allmendinger, Casey Kane, Elliott Sadler, Reed Sorensen, Paul Menard, and Eric Almirola. Through the list of drivers, it's Almirola who is breaking through and has the most potential to be one of Petty's best drivers post-1993. While racing for Petty, Ambrose has 2 wins, 3 poles, 10 top 5 finishes, and 28 top 10 finishes. The number of wins equals that of the late Bobby Hamilton and Casey Kane. His top 10 mark is only behind Hamilton by 1 driving for Petty. Now, he can equal that mark this weekend at Michigan. Will he? Well, we'll talk about it in our fantasy segment coming up a little later on. Jamie McMurray was blown away by the speed he saw at the Jacksonville Jaguars practice field yesterday. Quote, "What a surprise most is how big these guys are. When you stand next to them, I'm probably a third of their weight, and you could see how quickly they explode off the line. It's incredible how big and strong they are." Unquote. And McMurray did go down there, and yes, we're going to be talking about it and hearing from McMurray a little bit later on about how he felt that practice went for the Jaguars. Yeah, it's going to get interesting. Humpy Wheeler said during a Q&A session that he thinks NASCAR has too many pretty boys. For 35 years, Humpy Wheeler was at racing's best salesman and track operator. He was the creative and fearless risk-taker that actually stuck his head in a tiger's mouth at one point to publicize the races at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now, he and track owner Bruton Smith made each other fabulously wealthy before Wheeler abruptly retired after a serious argument with Bruton in 2008. And although his Speedway Benefits company now works exclusively with short tracks around the country, Wheeler keeps a close eye on NASCAR. You can see the full Q&A at autoweek.com, also a link on arnrace.com and on our Facebook and Twitter pages at arnrace. And former NASCAR driver Jeremy Mayfield spoke out today, actually, to the Sporting News in an exclusive live interview. We'll have snippets from that interview a little bit later on. And yes, it was Sporting News' Bob Pockrass who did the interview earlier today. And the reason this was different, other than the fact it was live, well, he's telling the whole story, all of the story, and nothing but the truth, according to him, his side of the story of the saga. Now, you might remember Jeremy Mayfield suspended from all NASCAR activity in 2009 following a failed drug test, which NASCAR, according to NASCAR, said that yes, it was methamphetamines that he had tested positive for. Mayfield, however, contests that he was on ADHD medication and cough syrup, which caused the false positive, and now claiming that NASCAR never said it was a positive, but instead said that he was indefinitely suspended for taking the ADHD medication. More on this later in the program. You're looking to build a brand new website? Apollo Aesthetics is the only place that you should be going. They can not only help you set up your website, but they can show you how to update it so you don't have to pay a fee to do that for you. You can keep your customers updated with the latest information. Plus, they can help you get set up with social media accounts, artwork for the social media accounts, logo designs, email addresses, and a whole lot more. Log on to apolloaesthetics.com in order to request a quote to build your brand new website today. It's apolloaesthetics.com. I'm Alan Bailey from the ARN News Desk.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network.
I'm not sure if you know, but a lot of people are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if I'm speaking a foreign language to you right now, don't worry. A lot of people have trouble with it, but you should not be one of them. If you're looking to get your business online, and if you're looking to build a stronger web presence online in order to build more customers and to sell more product, log on to apolloaesthetics.com. Not only will they help build a brand new custom website for you, but they'll help set you up with Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts in order to build your customer base and get your product out there for people to see. Everyone's online and everyone has a smartphone. Does that free custom website that you can build really work on an iPod or an iPad? Well, Apollo Aesthetics build websites that not only are capable of working, but work with all kinds of smartphones and mobile devices. Log on to apolloaesthetics.com not only to see all the services that they offer, but to request a quote to get your business online today. It's apolloaesthetics.com.
The odds of having a boy who grows up loving baseball,
1 in 6.
which earns him a college scholarship,
1 in 2,500.
that gets him a contract in the minors,
1 in 3,700.
which leads to starting shortstop in the majors.
1 in 290,000.
The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism,
1 in 150. You know the odds. Now learn the signs. Go to autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
What is one NASCAR Unites wristband capable of doing? It can inspire a child to go farther in school. It can construct a brand new playground for kids who've never had one. It can introduce a child with a serious illness to his or her favorite NASCAR driver.
I'm Tony Stewart, and I wear my band to Unite for Kids. Band together with me by logging on to www.nascar.com/unites to pledge your support.
The Pit Pass.
If Carl Edwards wants to win a championship in NASCAR's top level, he needs to get out of a Jack Roush Ford. He's never going to win a championship there. It's not saying that he doesn't know how to communicate with them. It's that Roush sucks. They've won 2 championships, but that was in their heyday. Their technology is just not there with the Hendricks and with everybody else. They're not there. Carl is wasting his time at Roush, and until he gets out of there, he's not going to win a championship.
The Pit Pass. Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on ARN. Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Stash Feed. Get the feed. Log on to stashfeed.com, your daily manly feed. Your Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
The website, arnrace.com. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Alan Bailey. Use the hashtag ARNRace to get in on this conversation. Alan, was it a conspiracy theory that the Mayfield Bob Pockrass interview video is not live and that it's not posted yet? Hashtag NASCAR conspiracies. No, it's not. Let me break this down for you. There was a technical difficulty. There was. We here at ARN use Google and YouTube to broadcast live, and honestly, we've had technical issues in the past before. Technical issues come up whenever you're using technology. It's technology. It's not perfect. The people who are using it are human, and guess what? They make mistakes sometimes. And with that in mind, that's pretty much what happened today. I'm not saying that the Sporting News, I'm not saying Bob Pockrass or Mayfield did anything to make these technical issues arise. I'm just saying that technical issues happen, and that's why it didn't show up live for most people. It did show up live for a few. The full video is going to be published later. They had some audio difficulties as well during the interview, but there is a small junket of the interview that already is up online. I'm going to play that for you. If you want to check out the video at a later date, you can check it on. You can check it out on arnrace.com, or you can go directly to the source, sportingnews.com. Go to the NASCAR tab. You're going to see all of Bob Pockrass's wonderful reporting on the sport of NASCAR there, and he truly is. I consider him one of the best in the business right now, in my mind, and the fact that he did this interview just shows he's extraordinarily versatile. And Bob Pockrass sat down with Jeremy Mayfield earlier today. This is what was said. Mayfield was asked about the team that he started at the beginning of the 2009 season. Keep in mind, I think it was 6 weeks or so, roughly, before the season started in Daytona in February, he didn't have a team. He didn't have a ride for Daytona. And with about 6 weeks to go until Daytona, until the drop of the green flag in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series competition, he said, I'm just going to buy a few cars and do it myself. And he did. He bought a few cars, made the Daytona 500, made a majority of the races in 2009 up until that Richmond race when he took the test and was permanently banned. He then had somebody fill in that car the very next week, and then after that the team just kind of fizzled and went away, unfortunately, because Mayfield had bigger issues to deal with in the courtrooms and with NASCAR. And he breaks it down, and Bob Pockris, one of the first questions, obviously, was, this team, do you think you could have succeeded, and was there the potential for this team to succeed and to win a race?
You know, I was certainly hope so. I would never started it. You know, we started that team, and pretty much 3 or 4 weeks went to Daytona, made a Daytona 500. We had a lot of potential sponsorship money that was coming in at the time, and really felt like that. You know, we had some good things going on, but it was certainly a struggle for sure. It always is in starting any kind of new team, but really felt good about it, and was really excited about it, having a lot of fun. Whether it was going to be a winning team, who knows? You know, you certainly hope so, you know, but you still got to have the resources to do that. But, you know, that was a challenge for me too. You know, I kind of enjoyed that, you know, taking that challenge on of starting my own team and kind of trying to be successful with it, but just never really got.
Yeah, and the video ends right there. It's a very, very short clip. It's about a minute long, but what I'm assuming is he was saying right there as the video cut off was he never got the chance, which he really didn't. NASCAR, I don't know, whichever side of the fence post you sit on, NASCAR took it away from him. NASCAR made it so that it would never happen. I don't know what you want to call it, but it basically never happened. He never had the opportunity. He never was really there. Whatever you want to call it, that's the case. That's the case, because he never got past the first quarter of a season, really, in NASCAR. He said that he took the hyperactivity deficient drug, Adderall, which he has a prescription for. That is confirmed by a doctor, that he has a prescription. His physician, who is a NASCAR physician, by the way, actually prescribed that to him because when he started this race team, he needed to focus more because he's easily distracted. That's one of the side effects of ADHD. So he took Adderall. He was prescribed that by a doctor. It was a doctor's idea, not his. And he was also on the allergy medication Claritin D. Claritin D, which, by the way, is a sponsor of NASCAR's, which other drivers, not naming names here, Carl Edwards, have actually stood up and said, I support Claritin D. I'm Claritin Clear. They've done TV commercials for saying, well, when I'm in a race car, I take my Claritin D because I don't want my allergies affecting my driving. NASCAR won't allow that drug, supposedly, to be taken by a NASCAR driver. Yet we have NASCAR drivers endorsing that drug. Do I see something wrong here? Am I alone here? This seems kind of ass backwards, if you ask me. But, okay, so Dr. David Black, who is a NASCAR physician, actually said, yes, Jeremy, take Adderall, and whether he was cleared to take the Claritin D or not, doesn't matter. He took it, and after more than 3 years, he is still not going to be taking NASCAR's Road to Recovery program. The fact of the matter is, according to Mayfield, that he does not want to get into the recovery program because it's admitting that he did something wrong. He's still saying, I have done nothing wrong. He's still standing by that statement. What's interesting, and these are the facts, when NASCAR gets, at the time, this is at the time, things have since changed since the Mayfield incident. NASCAR had implemented a new drug policy in 2009, at the beginning of the 2009 season. They were made aware of this in December of 2008, that this was going to be happening in 2009. Once the new policy took effect in Daytona, they started finding a few crew members. Crew members left and right were getting banned or suspended. They did the Road to Recovery program. They made it back into NASCAR. That's how you do it. You do the recovery program, you get back in NASCAR. Mayfield really was the first driver to actually get popped. He was the first driver to get popped for this. And he has said, I'm not going to do the recovery program. I'm not guilty. I am not on drugs. I don't have a drug problem. And why should I have to go through this drug procedure if I don't have a problem? in his mind, going through the procedure and the recovery program is basically admitting something is wrong when nothing is wrong. He doesn't want to waste his time by doing that. I understand that. I respect that. He claims, and actually, and this is where the conspiracy theorists and the black helicopters are going to go nuts over, he claims that he's a scapegoat. That's his entire thing. And actually, when you actually look at the evidence from his point of view, and you actually consider everything for the first time from the outside looking in, it very much looks like that. Okay, this all started actually in 2007, 2008, when the team he was driving for, Ray Evernham, the team owner, signed a development driver who he eventually married. He dated her, he was married. At the time, Ray Evernham was married with children. He has since divorced, and he has since remarried Erin Crocker, who is the development driver that is now Erin Evernham. She's now racing locally, and she has not made it in NASCAR and really never, I don't want to say had the chance, but was put into a cup car, or excuse me, into a nationwide car a little too quickly, if you ask me. But that's not the point. Others in his organization noticed that Ray was spending too much time with Erin, and nobody said anything about it. And a few media members picked up on it, and they started going to certain drivers of his, and Mayfield happened to be one of them. Mayfield was asked about it. Mayfield promptly responded with, well, I know they're hanging out. I don't really know what they're doing, because he didn't want to get involved. And then that morphed into, by a few media members, writing the headline, Mayfield says that Evernham is an absentee owner. And it pretty much snowballed from there. Mayfield really opened his mouth, and it came out, and really, at the time, Ray was defending himself, saying, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm a professional cup driver. I'm a professional team owner. I know what I'm doing. I would never do something like this, even though he divorced his wife and married Erin Crocker later. Awesome, Ray. Awesome. I have all the respect for you, Ray, but seriously, get your personal life together, pal. Well, now he does. He's married to her, and he's been married to her for the past 3-ish years or so. So congratulations, I guess. A lot of people don't know that Ray was married. A lot of people don't know that he was married. Yeah, true. Erin Crocker, homewrecker, if that's what you want to call it. But let's look at this from Mayfield's standpoint. All of that happened, and pretty much it led to him getting out of that Evernham Dodge or Ford or whatever they were at the time, and he was bouncing around trying to find a ride. He ended up getting his own ride, or creating his own ride in 2009. And then at Richmond, this whole thing started. Now, let me break something down for you. Ray Evernham, very, very good friends with NASCAR. That is a fact. Him, John Darby, everybody who in NASCAR, in the NASCAR executive world, they're all buddies. They really are. And it makes sense, because Ray was the poster child for NASCAR, or at least half of the poster child for NASCAR in the 90s with Jeff Gordon. He was the crew chief. He stepped aside into the owner's side, and he built up quite a relationship with NASCAR executives. And it's not totally inconceivable that he went to NASCAR and said, hey, I want to get this Mayfield guy out of our sport. He's causing drama. He's making me look bad because he's pointing out that I'm cheating on my wife with a driver that I really, really, really like. That's, oh, by the way, half my age. Ray, seriously? I can't get over the fact that he cheated on his wife with her. I really can't. And that's something that you never see in the headlines because, A, Evernham never advertised that. B, NASCAR, I don't want to say covered it up, but they made it go away. And C, no media member is going to print that except for me who just said it, so I might get fined by NASCAR. Ooh. NASCAR's not going to let me drive. Ooh. Now what? In all seriousness, I can kind of hear the black helicopters over my house right now and just kind of over the studio, paying attention, looking, seeing what's going on. Ooh. Yeah, I'm a little afraid. Anyway, Mayfield claims that Evernham went to NASCAR. He insinuates, actually, that Mayfield went to NASCAR and had NASCAR cook up all of this evidence in order to get Mayfield. It kind of makes sense because Mayfield was one of those field filler guys, if that's what you want to call it, starting parkers, whatever you want to call him, who was struggling to make it. Nobody really would have missed Jeremy Mayfield in a cup car. would have made him look bad, but I don't think Ray/NASCAR had the intention of him being banned up until this point. It's 2014, and the guy still isn't in NASCAR. He still can't go to a racetrack. He can't. If he was here in Southern California, he realistically couldn't even go to Irwindale Speedway on a Saturday night to watch some local short track guys. That's how severe the punishment is for NASCAR. So NASCAR, it just gets murky after that. It really does, because a lot of things are unanswered. There's a lot of he said, she said's from Mayfield and from NASCAR, and really the thing that kind of strikes me is the fact that Mayfield actually came out and said, well, and this is the truth, NASCAR's drug testing policy at the time went to Dr. Black. A secondary sample did not go elsewhere like it does in other sports to protect the players. It goes to Dr. Black. After that, the results go to NASCAR, and NASCAR makes their decision. Why on earth did NASCAR ever think at any point that we should just send the test results to one physician? One physician is, I'm not saying he's incompetent, but I'm saying that there's the possibility that Dr. Black could have messed up on the test. It could have been a false positive. There could have been other issues tampering with the samples. NASCAR used that one sample that Mayfield gave and tested it a few times, according to them, and said it was positive for methamphetamines later. They never told Mayfield what it was. They never told the media what it was for months and months and months, and only after Mayfield dragged NASCAR through courtrooms did they actually come out and say it was methamphetamines. Was it methamphetamines? Who knows? NASCAR never actually told that to Mayfield until they told it to the public. And they never showed Mayfield the test, or anybody outside of the NASCAR circle, the test results, saying it was positive. Even when Mayfield showed up with a court order saying, here are my physicians, here are our physicians, I want them to look at it as well. And I'm not saying he went out and found some crooked, medical professionals. No, I'm saying he went out and he found medical professionals given to him by his lawyer. This is, and multiples, not just one or two or three, multiples, as high as 5, reportedly, at one point. So you can see where this is going. NASCAR is just painted in a very bad light with all of this. You can see why NASCAR doesn't want him back. You can see why NASCAR wants Mayfield to go away. And in Mayfield's own words, he's hit rock bottom. And now, what exactly does he have to find? I don't know. I really don't know. More than 2 years after the Claritin D Adderall mix-up, his property was searched by police, who allegedly found stolen goods and what they determined was methamphetamine residue. A search was based on information from a man with a criminal record who later died, along with his passenger, following a police chase. Now, Mayfield eventually agreed to avoid a plea where there was acknowledgement for not enough evidence to be proven guilty while not admitting to the act. 2 misdemeanor for possession of stolen goods and 1 possession of drug paraphernalia. With the plea, Mayfield actually was able to end the case, avoiding jail time, and moved on with his life. The 45-year-old driver recently returned to racing modifieds. Off the track, he is he's posted first in what he said is a series of videos that will go deeper into his life and into his career. Now, going back to his roots of racing of local short tracks, Mayfield, who, by the way, had 5 wins and over 430 career cup starts, made the chase for the Sprint Cup in 2004 and 2005, hopes that he can actually get, hopes to have fun racing again and rally his fans, essentially, around his comeback story. Keep in mind, NASCAR told all of this to him within an hour of them actually basically skewing him in a press conference. Essentially, they called him when they were on the road at the press conference. Yeah, hey, Jeremy, listen, we're on the road right now, but, I just want to let you know, you tested positive. You had Adderall in your system. Well, you can't take Adderall in NASCAR. We don't want no ADD driver in NASCAR. So, yeah, just, you're indefinitely suspended. So, don't come to the racetrack this weekend, because we're just going to kick y'all out. Also, your wife shouldn't come as well, even though she is smoking hot. I don't think she should come as well, because it'd just be a bad situation for Elliot. So, eh, yeah, we're going to go ahead and make a press announcement right now. Well, what are you making the press announcement for? Well, we got to tell the world that y'all's indefinitely suspended. Why? I was taking Adderall. Well, you was taking Adderall, but you still tested positive. Well, what did I test positive for? Well, you was taking Adderall, ain't you? Yeah. Well, you tested positive. I just told you I was taking Adderall. How can I actually... I told you that. I'm not denying that I'm taking Adderall. My doctor prescribed it. Yeah, but even though it's our doctor, y'all shouldn't have been taking Adderall. Well, why didn't you talk to Dr. Black about that? Well, he's the one that did the test. He knew about it, but at the same time, you tested positive. You just indefinitely suspended from NASCAR. Really? No, I want to go to the doctor. I want to work all this out. I was taking Adderall for my ADHD and Claritin D. I've been fighting a cold. I've been working long hours to try to get this team going. I've been trying to find sponsorship. I'm sleeping very little, so I've been dealing with a cold because I'm not really taking care of myself too much. I'm trying to feed those employees that I'm trying to keep employed here. You're not going to let me defend myself to keep them employed? No. You tested positive. We're going to go. We got a press conference here scheduled. So, just want to let you know you're indefinitely suspended. Well, how do I get back to the racetrack? What do I have to do? The road to recovery? What do you need me to do? Well, that depends. Well, what does it depend on? Well, it depends on how y'all's handle the media. What? What do you mean, how do I handle the media? I'm gonna answer their questions quickly or slow? What do you mean? Well, it depends how you handle the media. If you do what you're told, you're going to get back quick. If you ain't do what you're told, well, boy, you ain't going to be back quick in NASCAR, so just handle the media well. Hopefully we'll see you back in NASCAR soon. We got a press conference coming on. I'm going to be on the ESPN. Can you believe that? NASCAR on the ESPN. Shoot, I'm going to have fun on that ESPN. Well, I don't care about the ESPN. What do you mean I have to... I don't understand. What's going on right now? Can you hold off on the press conference? I need to try to figure this out, and I need to tell everybody, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my team. I don't know what to do. Well, that's not NASCAR's problem. That's your problem. You was tested positive on your test. If you didn't want to deal with this, you shouldn't test positive. I don't know what you tested positive for. Shouldn't test positive, Jeremy. Anyway... Y'all have a good day now. No, wait. I gotta... No, you have a good day now. I'll talk to you later, Mayfield. Well, probably not. I'm gonna go ridicule you on a press conference on the ESPN. Bye. That's more or less how it went down, according to Jeremy Mayfield. And knowing the way that NASCAR deals with things, I kind of believe him. I'm not saying that I side 100% with Mayfield because, frankly... I wasn't there. I'm going based off of what NASCAR's saying in press releases and what Jeremy Mayfield is saying. But the fact of the matter is, there's more evidence to actually believe Jeremy Mayfield because his accounts of how the situation unfolded from his standpoint matches up with the facts pretty darn carefully. And NASCAR's side of the story doesn't really match up with the facts too well. I'm just saying, if you want to check out this complete recap, go ahead and log on to arnrace.com, keyword search Mayfield. You'll see every story that we've posted ever in the last 3 years concerning Jeremy Mayfield, NASCAR's drug policy, and everything else. Just keyword search Mayfield on arnrace.com. You will see everything, and trust me, there's a lot to read because this has gone on very, very, very long, and I think it's going to continue to go on. What comes of the plea deal, what comes of Mayfield and his wife Shannon, who knows? We'll see. I know some people who are ADHD. I have a few friends who have it actually very bad, and I can really tell when they're on their medication and when they're not. And I know people who are on Adderall. A couple of my very good friends are actually ADHD, and they're both on Adderall. And one of them is very good about taking his Adderall. He takes it every day, and he is there, if you know what I mean. My other friend, he misses his Adderall most days, and you can tell. And the days when he does take his Adderall, I can very much tell. Because he's there, he's focused on what we're doing or what we're talking about, and he's not sidetracked on everything else. So it's a very powerful drug. It works wonders for the people who need it, and I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you what it looks like on a drug test, but NASCAR is in a fishy position with this whole situation, and Mayfield, unfortunately, is caught in the middle of it, and he has been caught in the middle of it for the past 5+ years of his life. As he's put it, he's hit rock bottom, which truly I feel for him, because he went from having a very comfortable life, and he was in the position to actually provide jobs and basically help support multiple families with his company and with his race team, to basically racing short track races and trying to come up with money just to keep food on the table for him and his wife, which is a damn shame. I hate anybody. I hate to see anybody struggle, let alone somebody who at one point, oh, by the way, raced Earnhardt at Pocono for the win, and by the way, took on the Intimidator and won. Yeah, he raced his way into the chase in Richmond. Yeah. This guy isn't just some washed-up NASCAR driver. He, I think, could have had the potential to be a NASCAR champion. We will probably never see that happen, though, ever, which is a damn shame. So, I don't know. Mayfield, we'll keep an eye on you, pal. Good luck to you and your wife. Hopefully everything works out, but we'll see what happens ultimately in the end. NASCAR, more often than not, gets the last laugh, and I think they might be laughing on this deal. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to step aside now. When we come back, we'll get you up to speed with everything that happened at Pocono over the weekend as we get ready for the Irish Hills in Michigan, NASCAR this weekend. Also, coming up this weekend on our racing calendar, in case you're unaware, it is the Ford NHRA Thunder Valley Nationals. NHRA Mello Yello Drag Racing take to the Bristol Dragway this weekend. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series take on Gateway, the Gateway 250. Also, Nationwide and Cup Series doubleheader at Michigan with the Alliance Truck Parts on Saturday, and on Sunday it's the Quicken Loans 400 Cup race. Lots of stuff coming up this weekend. We got to talk Thunder Valley Nationals and also Michigan and Gateway this weekend, plus breaking down exactly what happened over this weekend that caused so many fines from Texas for the INDYCAR guys. And oh, by the way, Baja 500 was over the weekend. We'll kind of talk about it a little bit. I do have some off-road blood in me, believe it or not. And yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit. Don't go anywhere. You're shifting gears on ARN.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network. The Pit Pass.
Did you really think that Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus were going to be sitting with their thumbs up their bums watching everybody in the chase? No. They go out there, they win back-to-back at Charlotte and Dover. Of course they're going to contend for a championship in 2014. If you think that they're not, you're an idiot. I don't care what you say. Guess what? The guy has won 6 titles. Bound to win a 7th, and it might be this year. He's the greatest driver in NASCAR history, period.
The Pit Pass, Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on ARN.
Newsflash, it's 2014. It's time to get your business online. Log on to apolloaesthetics.com in order to request a quote to not only build your website, but to set up your custom email and to set up your hosting, your social media, and more. They can also help market and brand your products in order to get more customers, in order to sell product and get it flying out the door. Log on to apolloaesthetics.com right now to request a quote to get all of these services done and a whole lot more. That's apolloaesthetics.com.
Army Specialist Andrew Pike became paralyzed while serving in Iraq.
My injury was a gunshot wound to the left abdomen from a sniper. My first contact with paralyzed veterans was in Walter Reed.
Paralyzed veterans, National Service Officer Michael Killen.
We try to reassure them what benefits are out there, try to educate them and take some of that stress away from them.
Right now I'm going back to school to earn a degree, and I'm just spending time with my wife and child.
You can help our paralyzed veterans. Visit pva.org.
What is one NASCAR Unites wristband capable of doing? It can inspire a child to go farther in school. It can construct a brand new playground for kids who've never had one. It can introduce a child with a serious illness to his or her favorite NASCAR driver.
I'm Tony Stewart, and I wear my band to Unite for Kids. Band together with me by logging on to www.nascar.com/unites to pledge your support.
It doesn't matter what it is, if it's got a motor and at least 2 wheels, we're covering it on ARN. From AMA Supercross and Motocross to INDYCAR to NASCAR, NHRA drag racing and off-road action, we've got it all right here on the American Racing Network, your motorsports authority. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ARN Race, and visit arnrace.com for your 24/7 motorsports fix. ARN, the Motorsports Authority.
Getting set for race number 14 of the 2014 season for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series today. The first of 2 here at the Pocono Raceway, the Pocono 400.
Words used to describe Pocono Raceway: unique, odd, strange, tricky. They all seemingly apply quite well here.
Thank you for a fast car. Do my best for you here. Got my butt off. Let's go out here and have a little fun. Execute. We got him up front. Let's try to do our best to keep him there. All right, fellas. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Ready? Green, green, green.
Green flag is in the air as they shuffle off into turns 1 and 2. We're in for a treat this afternoon.
41's right there outside. Outside corner clear.
Keselowski goes to the top of the leaderboard as everybody flares out 3 and 4 wide now.
Oh, yeah. Nice fresh air. The miracle. Miracles do happen. Just whatever's loose, I'm flopping all over.
It's like towing a parachute right now for Matt Kenseth. Just a gaping wound in the nose of that Dollar General Toyota.
Go, Miracle, go. Outside 2, outside, whoa.
Marcus Ambrose gets into the side of Jimmy Johnson as he was leaving.
Let's back right over here, back into our stall, and we'll get a look at it.
Trouble on the tunnel turn. Kevin Harvick has a problem.
Flat left front.
What was a wonderful day for Kevin Harvick has suddenly gone very, very sour. The caution flag came out and once again changed the complexion of the Pocono 400.
Bad news for Tony Stewart fans at lap 119. Too fast entering.
Trouble. 2 cars into the outside wall as everybody scatters to avoid Casey Hayes.
We're killed. Coming to you guys, 18 wrecked us. Damn, 5 is hard.
Whoever gets the break on this restart is going to be the man to beat.
5 away, ready, green. No pressure, 22 spun is tired. I got 40 pounds of oil pressure, not much oil pressure.
The battle is up front between Dale Jr. and Brad Keselowski.
Your temps, there's a big piece of debris on the front. Really, really hot, but I don't want to give up the win.
There he goes way high! Nearly gets into the back of Danica Patrick. A miscue by Brad Keselowski, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. takes the lead.
I got temps too. Ignore him.
The fans here at Pocono are screaming. They're jumping up and down as Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the Pocono 400.
Good job, pit crew. Pocono winner. Good job. Awesome car. Finally won here. It took so long.
Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Apollo Aesthetics. Log on to Apollo Aesthetics to start building your new website today. You're Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
Seriously, when is Ed Carpenter going to add a second car to his IndyCar team? He's doing so well on the road courses and on the ovals in 2014. I don't see why he wouldn't. He can easily have a car for himself and for his other driver, Mike Conway, with great success. That's coming to us on Facebook at The Alan Bailey. I don't know. I really don't. You look at Ed Carpenter, and oh, by the way, he did win at Texas over this last weekend. Let's look at Ed Carpenter Racing and their programs. Carpenter actually stepped back at the end of 2013 to full-time owner-driver, and he shared his car with Mike Conway this year. Conway driving during the road course and street courses, and Carpenter behind the wheel on the ovals. It's working out pretty damn well so far into the season. Conway won at Long Beach, and oh, by the way, Carpenter won this last weekend in Texas. However, he's not doing it. He actually sat down with Autosport and said, quote, "We'd love to do a two-car team when the let me reset that, please. He said, quote, "We'd love to do a two-car team when we have the opportunity, but at the same time, we want to be able to grow at our own pace and do it in a way that's going to allow us to continue to do things in a way that we're doing them now, which we feel like is working. I wouldn't trade any one person on our team for another up and down pit lane," unquote. I gotta think he knows what he's doing. I mean, stepping out of the car full time was probably the best decision he made, at least at this point it is, because he has 2 wins in 2014 so far, on the road courses and on the ovals. Their program seems to be firing on all cylinders, so to speak, right now. Yeah, he had a bad race at Indianapolis, but so did a handful of other people. It happens. It's not anything that's uncommon. But you look at it, Conway and Carpenter are counted separately in the Drivers' Championships and are currently 22nd and 23rd, even with those two wins, respectfully. Now, a single driver with their combined totals would actually be placed 7th, 1 point behind Andretti's Carlos Munoz. That is a very interesting little cap in your feather right there. Very interesting. What exactly are they going to do? How are they going to do it? Every team does things differently, and they have their own way to do things, and you have to step back and respect that. I think the guy honestly knows what he's doing. They'll add a second team when the sponsorship and when the opportunity's there, but if they go out there and they're seriously contending for wins, what else could you ask for? Yeah, I think when he does decide, yeah, I want to have that second car, you got a driver right there. The opportunity is going to be there. And when you actually put both of those cars on the track at the same time, you're going to share data. One driver is going to dominate on one particular type of racetrack. The other is going to dominate on another type. Then you share your information, and then one driver dominates and the other one comes home with a top 5 finish or a podium finish. That's pretty damn respectable. That's what you're talking about. That's what you're looking at with these two drivers. That's assuming Conway sticks around and Carpenter keeps him around. I don't see why he wouldn't, though. He got the one at Long Beach. He's done a bang-up job so far on the street courses and the road courses. I gotta say keep him, at least for now. And keep in mind, we're not even to the halfway point of the 2014 season. By no means are we saying, well, where's he going to end up? And we're not starting those rumors here. I don't want to get involved with the rumor mill and start rumors on who's going where. I don't like to start rumors that aren't there. I hate people that do that. I know certain people in motorsports and in journalism who will say, well, according to sources, I heard that so-and-so's going somewhere. Only to find out that so-and-so never said that they were going somewhere, and somewhere never said that so-and-so was going there, and it becomes a whole big thing, and then we have to ask both sources for months and months and months, are you sure so-and-so's not coming over here? Yes, that's a made-up lie, leave me alone. Ah. Trust me, I've been on that end of the card, because whenever anybody with a blog opens their mouth and says, well, I think so-and-so's going to end up so-and-so. Well, I heard that he's going to dump him. I heard, guess what? Ed Carpenter's going to dump him. No, he's not. Ed Carpenter is committed right now, at least for the time being, to Mike Conway. He's not going anywhere. I think he's got a home there. And if anything, Carpenter might step out of the car at some point in the future, only to put Conway in full time, but I don't see that happening. He's a racer. He wants to keep going. So, no, I don't necessarily see it happening anytime soon. So, this is interesting. Rob Sexton, he's the new owner of the Nashville Superspeedway. He's not ruling out an attempt to bring back NASCAR and INDYCAR racing at some point. He actually said, quote, never say never, during an interview. He said this during an interview. Quote, it's a great facility and we're going to put it to use. We plan to develop the entire facility. We have a comprehensive business plan that involves using this track 52 weeks a year with primary emphasis on motorsports community. Our focus is on a motorsports identity, unquote. Well, I gotta tell you, pal, you just bought a super speedway in Nashville. Why the hell wouldn't your focus be on motorsports? What are you gonna... You know what? We have this giant super speedway. We're going to sell clown shoes out of it. It's going to be fabulous. We're going to have clown shoes, and it'll be great, and we'll have the circus in town. It'll be great. No. You're a super speedway. Of course you're going to be focusing on motorsports and bringing NASCAR and INDYCAR into your facilities. Are they going to have an opportunity? Well, Rob, I really hope you do in the future, but NASCAR, I know they're not thinking about adding another track ever, at least in cup racing. Maybe in trucks or nationwide, maybe, but I doubt it. And INDYCAR might be willing to do it if you make your facility better. Your facility needs a little TLC, just a little bit. Might be some of the problem. I don't know. You might want to look into that. Now, Sexton, he described himself as a car-crazy guy and a lifelong race fan. He's a 60-year-old who's the founder and CEO of Nexon Inc., which is a global technology company, and he did purchase the super speedway from Dover Motorsports for $45 million in cash and bond obligations. If you're carrying around $45 million in cash, it's pretty baller, I gotta say. It's pretty awesome, actually. And he paid it cash. Dover actually suspended racing at the track in wake of the declining attendance. Saxton said that he closely monitored the development of the track and the undaunting by Dover setbacks 2 years ago and actually began mapping out a plan to acquire it 2 years ago. If you've been trying to buy a piece of property for 2 years, you're pretty committed to it. I think the guy at least sounds like he's going to actually do good things for that speedway. I really hope he does. I really hope to see Nashville back on the NASCAR and INDYCAR schedule at some point, but really, who knows? Time will tell. We'll see. I wish him and everybody at the Nashville Superspeedway the best of luck. Bringing a racetrack back from the dead is very hard. The race fans are loyal. They'll come back, but building your facility up, working on your on-track product, these are things that he's going to be facing, and he's got to get things right. He's got to correct the problems that speedway had in the past, and the biggest way and the only way to really do that is talk to the locals. Talk to the people who were season ticket holders for 10 years. Talk to the season ticket holders from seasons 1 through 5 of that racetrack who left after the first 5 years or so. They'll tell you horror stories. They'll tell you the real issues that need to be worked on and addressed. So I think he's going to do it. Sounds like they're committed to it. I'm really glad that it's not being bulldozed and turned into condos or apartments or a shopping complex or a parking lot, Riverside, but we'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm just glad to see that it's going to continue to still exist. On that note, I've blown the clock all to hell. We're going to go ahead and take our final break here. When we get back, we're going to talk some NHRA action. They're taking on Thunder Valley this weekend. Trucks are in Gateway. Nationwide and Cup Series for their NASCAR are in Michigan. We'll break it down this weekend's schedule when we get back. You're shifting gears on ARN.
This is ARN, the American Racing Network.
Okay, so let's say that you're trying to build a website for free on one of these website builders. You go ahead and spend hours uploading your personal information and all of the photos that you've taken of your products, only to find out that you can't bring a .com onto that website without paying a huge fee. And you can't remove those ads without paying a huge fee. And you can't remove all of those pesky "this website was built for free" buttons without paying a huge fee. By the time you've paid all these fees, you've paid thousands of dollars in order to remove all of these pesky ads. Why go through all the hassle? Why spend all of those hours doing it yourself? Go ahead and log on to apolloaesthetics.com, not only to request a quote to build your brand new website and to see a rendering of what your website could look like, but in order to set up services like email, hosting, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram accounts, and a whole lot more. That is Apollo Aesthetics and apolloaesthetics.com.
Lobster, harvested from the cold, clear waters of Maine, is truly the world's ultimate white meat. It has a distinctive flavor that's both mild and slightly sweet, and is so easy to prepare. Maine lobster is good for you, too. It's one of the healthiest and leanest proteins available, containing less fats, calories, and cholesterol than beef, pork, or even the light meat of chicken. For exciting recipes, visit our website at mainelobsterpromo.com.
The Pit Pass.
Is Dale Jr. going to win the championship in 2014? How the hell should I know? I seriously have no idea. This is a new format. You have to not only make the chase, but by the time the chase starts, you have to be perfect in all of those rounds, and by the time you get to Homestead, you have to pretty much go out there and win it. If you have a bad Homestead race, one of those two guys are going to end up going home with the championship. Can Junior do it? I have no idea, but we'll find out.
The Pit Pass. Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on ARN.
Another wild weekend in the Poconos at the Tricky Triangle. Let's get you wired on ARN. We start with number 5.
Thank you for a fast car. A lot going for us here today. All right, be safe on pit road. Have a good day. We'll work hard here. A lot of paper out here. Make sure you tell me to close up and clean it off one last time.
Number 4.
Go, go. Outside 2. Outside. Whoa. Earl, if you see that 9-car spotter, tell him that was my fault. I apologize. I didn't realize he was coming in. I thought he was still going out.
Number 3.
Got a real good lap, 2 laps to go. I'm getting past and have to let people go. I don't give a Gave me, got coach here on my shoulder telling me and you both use better language on the radio.
Number 2.
What's wrong with this morning? He hit the 1 car and knocked his nose in. Whatever's loose, I'm flopping all over. Try to go as long as I can, man. Hopefully we can get a caution. Watch your water temps.
Number 1.
Your temps, there's a big piece of debris on the front. Yep, they're hot. Pushing hard, but 6 to go. He's got a big piece of trash on his grill and the screaming temps. Really, really hot, but I don't want to give up the win. It either makes it or it don't. We didn't have the best car, but y'all did a good job, man. Finally won here. It took so long.
Shifting Gears on ARN is presented by Stash Feed. Get the feed. Log on to stashfeed.com, your daily manly feed. Your Shifting Gears on ARN, the Motorsports Authority. Here's Alan Bailey.
We are short on time. That's my fault for blowing the clock up, but you know what? We'll make it up. And we'll go ahead and just wrap it all up here in a nice little bow for you. Welcome on back. Shifting Gears right here on ARN. I want to remind you, you can listen to Shifting Gears every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can listen to the Pit Pass, your personal pass for everything NASCAR, Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on ARN, the Motorsports Authority, and ARNRace.com. You can also download the podcast on iTunes, actually, and on the American Racing Network website at ARNRace.com. Now, the thing that I want to get in here, Del Worsham, he's actually having a pretty good season so far in 2014, but he still needs that win in Funny Car. I got my eye on him this weekend at Bristol. He's honestly done pretty good there, and yeah, it's really going to be kind of like coming home for him. He's done really well at this racetrack, but really, it's all a matter of can he get it done. He actually sat down with NHRA.com and said, quote, "I do feel like we took a step forward in Englishtown, mainly because we were able to do some good runs without running into mechanical gremlins. I think that if you really look back onto our performance starting at Indy last year, we have really made some huge gains in terms of consistency. Last year, although we ran well, we couldn't seem to put any Sunday round wins together. This year, we started off doing pretty well and ran into some mechanical gremlins. After Englishtown, I feel like we moved past those issues and we're already catch up with the rest of the Coletta's teams and some wins." I got to agree with him. That team has had some issues, and when I say they've had a good season, I mean their cars have been good. Mechanical gremlins are mechanical gremlins. You can only do so much with that stuff. That is completely out of the driver's hand. That's on the team. And the team has, frankly, let him down in the past. But you know what? They're working on it. They're getting better. I truly think it's one of those things where the more you do it, the better off it's going to be. And he really is moving in great strides. I'm keeping my eye on him this weekend because after Englishtown, like he said there, they've been getting better. They really have. It's just getting those gremlins out of the car. And I think that once you keep finding the same mechanical gremlins, you're going to fix them, and they're not going to happen again. And after finding all these gremlins, they've taken care of them, and moving forward, they're going to take care of it. They're a good race team. They know what they're doing. It's just a matter of making sure that the car is set, and truly, I think that they're at a point where they can do it. Now, last topic before we get out of here, and I have seconds, literally, to bring this up. Montoya, is he going back to NASCAR full-time? Not right now. He's in INDYCAR. A lot of people are sending me tweets and emails. He's back this weekend. Does that mean he's coming back full-time? No, he's done with NASCAR full-time, more or less. But he wants to win some races. He wants to put that feather in his cap, more or less, and say, yeah, I won an oval race, which is why he's going to Michigan, to make the chemistry a little bit better there. And yeah, he's going to Indianapolis because, damn it all, he wants to win in Indianapolis in a stock car on the oval. I think every driver wants to win on that race in an oval. Just saying. Anyway, check out arnrace.com for the weekend calendar, the racing calendar, to check out the Nationals, the Trucks, Nationwide, and Cup this weekend. And don't forget to check us out next week. Log on to arnrace.com to listen to all this. For everybody here, I'm Alan Bailey. See you at the track.
arnrace.com to keep up with the latest news, photos, podcasts, and interviews from the track. You've been shifting gears on ARN, the American Racing Network. Broadcasting from the ARN Racing Studios in Southern California, ARN Los Angeles. This is ARN, the American Racing Network.